Ar-Rahman, a single word that opens up one of the most beautiful surahs of the Quran. Allah decided where the ayat would stop in the Quran, and He decided that just the word Ar-Rahman would suffice as the opening of this entire surah. And in fact, this one word shapes the entire surah. This Ramadan, I'll be explaining the beautiful depth and the profound wisdom in one of the most beautiful and even audibly beautiful surahs of the Quran. There is an interesting question that comes to mind. Many years ago, a young lady came up to me and said that she left Islam because of Surah Ar-Rahman. She told me that I opened the surah and Allah said that He's loving and caring, and He's the most loving and the most caring. And in the middle of the surah, I started reading about hell and what a graphic description of hell there was. And I sat her down and explained some things that were happening in the surah, and that memory still sticks in my head. And
the description of Surah Ar-Rahman's Judgment Day is only what the criminals will have to face on Judgment Day. And which criminals in particular? The criminals among the human beings that were being backed up by the jinn.
This Ramadan, inshallah, my hope is that I'm going to take you on a journey beyond just translation and beyond a brief explanation. Let's take a deep dive into this most profound surah of the Quran, and really understand how each of its transitions, from the beginning that describes the greatness of the Quran, to the remarkable, beautiful creations of Allah that are all around us, to this very terrifying scene of Judgment Day and the outcome of criminals, to then instead of one Jannah, two Jannahs, and two groups of Jannahs, two descriptions of Jannahs paired together, and how all five of these elements intertwine with each other with an echo running through all of them. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. How does all of that come together, and what profound message does that send to you and me? Particularly this Ramadan, I'm happy that we're sharing the message of Surah Ar-Rahman, because Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed, and Surah Ar-Rahman is telling us that the greatest act of rahmah of Allah is actually the teaching of the Quran. So we're combining the mercy and the love of Allah that's already special in Ramadan with the study of the most special surah that describes Allah's love through the revelation of the Quran.
It's almost as if God gave us, He was very generous in His creation of us, and He taught us to learn, and the true knowledge is the knowledge of the Quran. You could be a scholar in many different subjects, and you could learn physics, chemistry, but to actually learn the Quran is one of God's greatest blessings.
The Quran is your Google now. It's your ChatGPT. It's there to answer your question. Allah is the one asking the questions. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ.
One word can go into paragraphs of conversation that kind of opens your eyes to the whole sentence that you're reading in a whole different way. Like that one word makes all the difference, and He really breaks it down in such a profound way that you finally understand something in a whole different way than you ever understood it before.
With the sky, you get to be in awe of Allah, afraid of Allah, mindful of Allah. And with the earth, you become in love with Allah, grateful to Allah, appreciative of Allah. There are two dimensions of our relationship with Allah.
Oftentimes we read, but we really don't understand what we're reading. So having Surah Ar-Rahman in our masjid and understanding each ayah piece by piece has really helped me kind of, gain a lot more respect for Bayina and the teaching abilities that Numan Ali Khan has.
When the Prophet ﷺ started receiving the Quran, really bad stuff happened in his life too. Every time Quran came, people hated him more. His own family turned against him more. So if something bad's happening in your life, when you start coming towards the Quran, you are walking in some level of the footsteps of your Prophet. Congratulations.
And inshallah, my goal is to use this new perspective that Numan Ali Khan gave me in Quran Week to carry this into Ramadan and use the basics that he taught, the fundamentals that he taught, that laid an incredible foundation to teach us about our own Quran that Allah gave us.
Allah created an entire universe that follows an exact schedule. And the revelation of the Quran and the recipient of it and the subject of it, all of it was exactly on schedule.
So remember, every episode that I'm going to share is going to come with a companion workbook. There are going to be quizzes, live reflection circles, even prizes, inshallah ta'ala, all of it to encourage you to make more out of this Ramadan than any other. The Quran is not about quantity, it's about quality. So let's spend quality time with this one profound, beautiful surah. And if you really want to prepare ahead of time, those of you who haven't Start trying to memorize this surah. So by the time you come out of Ramadan, you can say you have a deep, insightful, and personally intimate connection with this incredible surah. So every time you stand to pray and you recite even a little bit of it, it's a completely transformative experience for you. I hope you'll join us, and I can't wait for us to get started together.